Hi everyone, now we're ready to move on to S2. So for S2 you actually have 3 sheets. You have this one for Charlie the chicken, you've got this one here for Pete the pig, and you need this sheet here that has all the little extra bits, okay? You will also need a scissors, some glue, and brilliant if you have these googly eyes, but if you don't, you can just use a pencil to draw on the eyes, okay? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get Charlie the chicken. So I'm going to put the other 2 sheets over here for a minute, and we're going to get your scissors. When you're holding your scissors, you need to be very careful because scissors are sharp and they could cut your hand. So when we're holding them, it's really important that when you put your thumb on the top and your fingers underneath, that you can always see the top of your thumb, the nail on the top of it. If it turns and you can't see your nail anymore, you shouldn't be turning your wrist like that. The scissors should be straight, okay? The other thing is that your helper hand should also have the thumb on the top, and all your other fingers should be tucked away so the scissors can't cut them. So the thumb is on the top, and we've got the thumb on the top on the other hand as well. So we're going to start by cutting out the circle shape. So we're going to do little cuts along the outline. Be really careful to stay on the line. So when we're doing any shapes like circles, you want to do little small cuts, or else it's going to look like straight sides. But a circle has curved sides. So when we get a little bit up here to the top, helper hand needs to move nice and close to us so that we can keep going around the circle. Helper hand needs to move again. Good job, using your 2 hands together. So little snips, keep going. Bring that helper hand with you. You are doing a fantastic job. Nearly there. Oh, helper hand needs to move again. And then we've got to the end. So what I want you to do now is we're going to put down our scissors and the circle, and we're going to get rid of this scrap paper. So we're going to give it a big squish. Work all those hands. Give it a squish, 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 as small as you can make it into a ball. Brilliant. And we're going to put that to the side. Now what I want you to do is pick back up your circle. There's a dotted line here that looks like a triangle. We need to cut along that dotted line. So we're going to pick back up our scissors. Remember, our thumb is on the top, and small little cuts all the way in until you get to that first line. Then I want you to move helper hand into the middle part of the triangle and cut the other line. That's the easiest way to do our cutting. Brilliant. So when we have that cut off, you should have a shape like this. That is for Charlie the chicken. Now we're going to go on to Pete the pig, and we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to cut it out. So let's remember what we did with our helper and our doing hand, and we're going to do small little cuts all the way around. If pieces of paper are getting in the way, just fix your hand again and keep going. Remember, helper hand is so important. Needs to stay nice and close. Little snips. Cutting can be tricky sometimes, and you just need to practice it. You're doing amazing at practicing your circles here. So keep going. Let's do that again. So we put down our scissors and we scrunch it up into a tiny ball. Keep scrunching with your 2 hands. Work them really hard. Brilliant, you did great. Now let's pick back up this one and let's cut it out just like we did. So we did small little snips to the end. Then we moved our helper hand into the middle of the triangle. And then we did straight snips to the end. Brilliant. So let's put those 2 parts out. Now we have our 2 shapes like this. One for Charlie the chicken, one for Pete the pig. We're going to put them out for a second and we're going to get this page. Now there's lots of cutting in this page, so I just want you to try your best. If you're finding it very tricky, you can get some help from your mum or your dad or your siblings or someone that's there to help you. So we're going to start first with the chicken's wings. What I want you to do is, beside the chicken's wings, we're going to cut down straight along the page. So cut down in a straight line until you've cut them off like that. Perfect. So now we've only got a little piece of paper to work with, and that's a little bit better. So we're going to cut these wings out. So I want you to concentrate really hard here. Don't worry if some parts of it are really tricky. We just got to use our helper hand and our doing hand together. Great job. Little snips. So what I want you to do here is I'm going to concentrate and cut out all my shapes. I want you to pause the video, and when you've cut out all your shapes, I want you to press play, and then I will show you how to make your farm friends. So now we're ready to move on to the next part. We're going to make Charlie the chicken first. So what I want you to practice is we're going to make a cone shape, and that's going to be the body. So to make this, you have to get the two edges here and here, okay, that come out of this part that's cut open. You're going to pretend like you're trying to bring them together, okay? And then you're going to keep going for another bit until you've made your cone shape. Brilliant. So to hold this in place, you can either use some sellotape or you can use some glue. So what I want you to do if you're using glue is we're going to open it back out, okay? We're going to get some glue, and we're going to put glue on the inside of one of the sides. So we're going to put glue inside of one of the sides, okay? Then what we're going to do is the side that you have glue on, you want to make sure that that goes on the front when you're crossing it over. So let's do what we were doing, holding it at the tips, bringing them in close together, and then keep going to make your cone shape. Brilliant. Now the glue should have stuck onto the other side. So I just want you to give it a little pinch to hold it in place. Brilliant. Pinch, pinch, pinch. Super. So now you've made your cone shape. That is for Charlie the chicken. Now we want to get all the different bits for Charlie. So he's got his two white wings, you've got his white tail, the part for the top of his head, and you've also got his beak. Okay, so let's start with the beak first. What I want you to do is I want you to bend back the paper along the dotted line. So we bend it back and we pinch it, just like that. The glue needs to go on this part, okay? So I'm going to get my glue. I'm going to put some glue in it. And then that glue, we're going to stick to the front part here. So I need to use my two hands because I'm going to push the part on where the glue is. Push, push, push. And then if you bend it out, you've got the beak. Brilliant! You're doing a great job so far. Now the next part we're going to do is we're going to get the two wings. So once again, what you want to do is you want to bend it back along the line, give it a little pinch, get your other wing, bend it back on the line, and then you need to get your glue, put it on that bit of extra paper for sticking. That's really important. Okay, so our wings are going to go on either side of your chicken. So I'm going to use my two hands once again to push it in place. So you really want to push, push, push that glue so it really sticks. And I'm going to try and get it on the same, kind of on the same location on the other side. And you squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. So see the way I've got mine stuck on? I want you to do yours just the same. And then make sure that your beak is sticking down just like that. Perfect. Okay, now we're going to get the tail. So we got to turn our cone all the way around to do the tail. So for the tail, you need to put glue on the back part here. So I'm going to get my glue, put a little bit on the back of it. And then you're just going to stick that onto the back of your chicken. Charlie, the chicken. And then we can turn him around one more time, okay? Now what I want you to do is, you need to get this part for the top of his head, and we're going to put a little bit of glue on the back of it, just at the end of it, okay? Because that's going to stick here at the top of his head, just like that. We just push it on. So now you've made Charlie the chicken. He looks so great, but he's got no eyes. Oh. So I need to get my googly eyes that I'm going to put on. If you don't have googly eyes, don't worry. You could just use a pencil to draw them on. So I'm going to put my 2 googly eyes on so he can see. 1 second, I need to use my 2 hands. That's the good thing about it being a cone, because you can put one hand underneath the cone to hold it when you have to push the other one on. So now he's got his 2 eyes. Oh, he looks so cute. So I'm going to put him over here and I'm going to get Pete the pig ready. So exactly the same as we made Charlie the chicken's body. You want to bring the 2 sides in like you're trying to close the circle, but then you're going to keep on going. So you can use sellotape or you could use glue. I'm going to use glue. So can you remember what we did? We put glue on one side, lots and lots of glue. Then we brought the sides together, but the one that has the glue on it needs to go at the front. So we, cross it over, brilliant. And then we push it into place so that glue sticks. Super. Okay, now we have our cone, which is our body. I want you to get the pig's nose. And we're going to put glue on the back of his nose. And we're going to stick his nose to the front. Just like that. Perfect. Now I want you to get his 2 ears. And just like we did with Charlie the chicken, we're going to bend it back on that line. Bend it back on the line. And put glue on this part. That's our part for sticking it onto his body. So glue on either side. And then we put the ears up here at the top. So I got to use my 2 hands again to really push that glue on. And you want to make sure that you give the glue time to stick, or else they might fall off. So you push, 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 push it into place. Brilliant. Now I want you to get the tail. So just like we did with the back of the chicken, we're going to put glue on the back of the tail. By that I mean on the white part, okay? And then we're going to stick the tail onto the back. Just like that, using your 2 hands to really push it on into place. Brilliant, that looks great. Now I need to put the 2 eyes on. I can't wait to sit Pete and Charlie in my room together. Put on the other googly eye. Oh, I need to use my 2 hands. Brilliant. Oh, they're going to be the best of friends and they look so cute together. Oh, I can't wait to see how you got on with it. They look great. I think they're going to go off to the farm on an adventure. See you in the next activity.